what is making your heart sing and what is calling you? And, maybe it's not in the main aisle or anything that makes you happy in your outside life. And how do you interpret that inside of your space? Like, use those kind of feelings to tap into your own personal style and think through if you're liking something because it's, a trend or out there everywhere, or are you liking this because it like really speaks to you?
Home, home, just wanna go home, home, back home. I've been gone for way too long. Home.
Welcome to Make Space, a home design show that empowers you to create spaces you're obsessed with. Tune in for conversations that dive deeper than pin-worthy rooms. Host Cara Newhart teases out the essentials of designing spaces that feed your soul and inspire your creativity. Cara has been featured in House Beautiful, Apartment Therapy, and has collaborated with brands like Home Depot, Wayfair, Amazon, and more. Here's your host, Cara Newhart.
Hey, it's Cara, and I'm on a mission to help you find your style, learn to tackle home design without intimidation, and unlock the confidence to transform your spaces. On the show today, I have a super exciting interview. I'm so pumped for this one. I am sitting down with Mary Welch Fox Stasik, and we are talking all about her new show on HGTV, Breakin, and diving into the windy journey of how she got there. We dive into specific design strategies, we talk about the creative process, we talk about her show, and she also shares her story, and I think it's amazing because it's a really good example of how your story can truly define your style, your creativity, and the life experiences that you have is something that you can draw on when you're creating your spaces and trying to find what your style is and create a space that speaks to you. So I'm so excited. I think by the end, you're going to be so pumped up to go check out her new show. So let's dive into this amazing conversation. Okay, everyone, welcome back to Make Space. Today I have a really, really special guest, and I'm beyond excited to sit down with her. So I have Mary Welch Fox Stasik, if I don't butcher her name, and we are going to talk all things design, all things her new show. So welcome.
Thank you kindly. Thanks for having me.
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you.
of course.
And you
I'm
didn't
beyond
butcher my
excited.
name. Thank you.
Perfect. I practiced, so. Well, I would love to start by just diving into your story. Like, what did your journey into design even look like?
God, it's been an interesting ride, to say the least. But, it's funny. I've had to reflect on this a lot. And, I notice now when I do tell my story, every time I remember more. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'm, turning 40 this year. So there's a lot of it that's it's a long time. I studied interior design in school. So it's been a long time since then. And there's a lot of paths that you just forget about. And you forget about pieces that were integral parts that really made you who you are. But I tend to go to the glossy, shiny things and forget about the hardships,
Right.
So if you want me to, I can start from school, I guess.
Let's start there.
Cool. I went to Colorado State University, and I went there because it's an agricultural school, and I am a huge snow skier. B, I was studying biology. So that was my plan. But I always wanted to be an artist, and I really wanted to study art. But at the time, that wasn't, I knew there were art majors, and I knew that was a possibility. But at that time, I thought I could only be a businesswoman or a scientist or a doctor. Yeah. And that was the only thing that I could do to really make a living. I didn't understand. I just only thought starving artist. So I was okay, well, that'll just be my hobby. But when you're an artist, you just can't let go.
Yes.
That is it burns inside of you. And I'm one of those people, if I don't love what I'm doing, then probably don't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm ADD, I'm not going to stick with it.
I'll run. Bye.
Yeah, totally. You're going to get a piece of me, but you're not going to get all of me. But when I love something, you're going to get 110% of me. So that, and I knew that about myself, which is, I only knew that, but I didn't understand how to apply that in life. Totally. So then I saw that there was an interior design major at the school where I went, and and, you know, like HGTV was on and, you know, there was design shows on and I was like, that looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, that's like an option. I can do that. And I started doing some research and found out it was an automatic 4-year school. It was like interior architecture. And I switched my major. I applied to the school and made it and ended up studying design in school, which was hard, honestly. It was so much harder than biology, but I loved it. So then I studied interior design and it was incredible. It was hard. It was all the fun things. And after school, I worked in Denver for a little bit and I knew I wanted to live in Manhattan. So one of the designers that would come in the store in Denver, he was building homes in Aspen, him and I just had a great connection. And I told him I wanted to move to New York and he hired me and I ended up going into New York. So that was my step. I moved to New York. I worked for this incredible designer named Larry Laszlo. And it was hard, honestly. Like, he was an incredible designer, but I was young. And in reality, you know, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. And here I've stepped into this like really big world of really high-end design, and it's fast paced and just totally different than the world I came from. And it got a little lost and really homesick in New York. I mean, it was just confusing at the time. And I also tried a little bit in fashion. I worked for a designer named Yugal Azrael. And ultimately, I left both of those jobs. And like I said, I was lost. Like, there was a disconnect. And it's such a bigger story that goes beyond that. But and that someday I'll be able to share all of it. But I ended up moving to South America.
Big jump, yeah.
Big jump. And I worked in an orphanage for a while and taught English and just kind of like I had to come back and find myself. You know what I mean? Like I had kind of lost myself in this big city and not knowing, you know, there's so many things going on. Like I had lost who I was a little bit, you know, like I was burning the candle at both ends in New York, and it just like, that wasn't me at the heart of me. So that's all I knew to do was like, okay, I'm going to just leave all of this and I'm going to go to South America and I'm going to find myself again. I'm going to find like what it's like to help other people again and to do some service in life and like come back and recenter and see what's important again. Yes. And it was incredible. And I gained so much inspiration there. That's like where I first realized like, there's so much in the world that I can tap into for design inspiration, like, that I want to use in my spaces, and so much color and so much like, just so much of everything that it expanded my mind incredible. I needed that. So I came back to New York and I was like ready to take on the city again. And I was kind of dating a man at the time who is now my husband. And we decided the only way we were long distance, the only way to like make it work was if we moved to the same city. And at the time I was in Manhattan and he was in Chicago. And so we moved to Chicago, and it was also when the market crashed. And so here I am, like an interior designer. I'm ready to come back into the world. I have this like new sense of grounding. I'm ready to be me, and nobody is hiring designers.
Oh, man.
I know. So I was so bummed and kind of like, okay. And I had kind of in my head, I was like, well, I've got this great resume. I've done all this work. Like, I've got it. I'll get a job. And no. Like, no at every turn. And that, you know, it hurt my, like, you know, that hurts your soul a little. No for every job too, by the way. Like I was going out for any job and could not get a job.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, a kind of an ego burn. So I started waiting tables and got my yoga certification and started working in the music industry and like moving on with my life. I was trying to find new avenues, and I loved working in music. I ended up working for a music festival, and it was like building VIP experiences for music festivals and for concert tours. So then, you know, I'm young now. I have this freedom back. I'm able to like use any money I make to travel and see the world and spend time with my husband, at the time boyfriend, who's a musician, and just like, you know, living life, but also still lost a little bit, you know, like when am I going to find my place again. But again, like interior design still called me. So working in the restaurant, one day, somebody came and sat at one of my tables and I said my name and she started laughing in my face. And I was like, what? I was so confused. I had never met this person. And she was like, I know you. And I did not know her at all. But I guess I'd grown up with her husband. And she was like, I cannot wait to tell him that you are waiting tables right now. And I was like, what's wrong with waiting tables?
Right, what?
Like, I was
like, I'm having the best time.
Totally. Like, my life is going great. But like, she started making, like, it was an awkward moment. So I start, like, and it made me sad and confused and just like question, like, am I failing? Am I doing something wrong? Which no, you're not. Waiting tables is not. That's definitely no. This woman was in the wrong for making me feel this way. But it also lit kind of like a fire under me.
Right.
And I was like, I really wanted to get back into design, so I started talking about it more. And eventually, one of the girls I worked with waiting tables had a boyfriend, and she told him that I wanted to get back into design. And he was, because at the time she knew that he was looking for a condo and wanted to redo it. And she was like, here's Mary Welch. I'm going to introduce y'all. And I told them, I was like, this is my first project alone. And they took a chance and they let me take on this condo. And I had the best time. I sat in that restaurant and I got back where I was working. And when it was dead, I would draw at the bar and go back to study all my materials, like all the rules, all the code, all the things that I'd forgotten, and all the things I needed to do. And I'm hand drawing, I'm pulling in my CAD drawings again. I'm like contacting builders, and it like lit the fire under me that made me get back into design. And that was it. Like I was like, okay, I can do this again. Like I can still do this. I love this, and I can do it by myself. Right. And that was like the biggest, that piece of confidence to know I could do it by myself was, it took a little bit, like I'm an artist at heart. So like self-doubt lives inside of me forever, I can't help it. I wish I could tell you I was like confident, but all the time, and no, I'm an artist that like questions everything. But that job ended up getting me another job and another job. And I would work at that bar and hand draw and work nights and work to pay basically so I could continue doing interior design, and every dollar I made I'd put back into design. And so it like worked as this catalyst that set me up to keep working. Like, this is what I want to do. I can make this happen. And then I ended up getting pregnant with my first daughter. And moved to, when we were in Chicago at the time, and I was like, this is way too cold. I need to move to Charleston. I'm like, I cannot handle this. I have no family here. Like, and my husband's gone like half the year, so I did not want to be alone. And I told him I had family in Charleston, South Carolina. I was like, my sisters are there. My mom had just moved there. And legit, my husband was like, great, let's do it. And like within 4 weeks, we had moved to Charleston. And it was awesome. Like I knew that that's where I needed to be if I was having children. But at the same time, I just like established myself in Chicago as a designer, and like just got a client base and just got myself back on my feet. So that was almost like, starting all over again. I knew I had to do it. So it put me kind of back at square one. And I knew if I was going to make it here, I had to figure out a way to do that. And so I was taking free jobs, still working in music, still traveling, still and I just had a baby, like still doing all the things, but working for free to prove myself. And I'll start building a name here as well, because the two markets are totally different. I'm working all these jobs and I'm trying to make it work. And maybe a few years after giving birth to my daughter and I'm hustling, I get a phone call one day and somebody says, hi, I'm working with River Media out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and a woman named Angie Wedikin is a girl that is one of my friends from child, suggested you might be good on camera for HGTV. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, like what?
And I was like, am I getting punked?
Like, good one.
Totally. I was like, cool. Thanks, guys. It's been real. This is not funny. Don't toy with my emotions. Because that, truly had always been my dream, was to be on HGTV. I just thought that was a pipe dream that could never happen. And they were serious, and we talked so many times. That was just the beginning. And at the time, I didn't have a large clientele, enough people that I could count on to do a show in Charleston, and nobody really knew me. And at the same time, I was also trying to get pregnant with my second daughter, but we were having a really hard time. That process it's hard to explain now. And now that I'm out of it, it seems kind of, it's hard to remember it. But I know at the time I was just in the thick of not feeling great in my skin.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel right. But I was like, I don't have a lot of clients right now because in the process of trying to have another child, and it's just not going, I just don't have it all in me. But I said, come back, please come back. I don't forget about me. And they did. And I had another child, and she is incredible. And they came back, and the processes of interviewing went on again. And the process of interviewing and doing screen takes and all of the things that go down it's a lot. It's not like,
yeah,
here you go, you're going to be on HGTV.
Right. Like a million Zoom calls later.
1000%. And I honestly was like, I never in my mind was like, this is going to happen. I was like, there's no way this is going to happen. Like, is this a joke? Right. But it just kept, they kept being like, okay, we got you another. Well, here's another one. Here's another step. Right. Now we want to do a sizzle. And I was like, what? It just kept happening. And then after the sizzle, they came and they filmed the pilot, and at the same time, like, my design business is picking up because I've done all these projects and finally built a portfolio in Charleston. So like, it kind of like happened in perfect synchronicity. So, I'm getting my confidence back. I'm getting my jobs back. I'm getting people to trust me here in Charleston. I'm gaining a name again. And like, all that free work is paying off. Our design is, when you're starting, it's like it's not a guaranteed paycheck. So I had to make that leap, and it's all now, the rest is history. We ended up filming a whole series for Breakin, and it aired August 4th. It's been an absolute crazy whirlwind, and there's so much more in between there, but that's like the long cliff notes.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I love like the theme that I keep hearing, where it's like you had to like trust yourself. You had to keep coming back and like taking those leaps and like bet on yourself. And it feels like when you do that enough times, eventually you like find it and it clicks. So that's amazing.
Thank you. Totally. I mean, like, there's so many times where you just want to quit and be like, okay, I'm not going to make it.
Right.
I'm not going to make it. Like, it's time to just throw the hands in the air and commit yourself to like a full-time job that is going to give you a steady paycheck and benefits and like give up your pipe dream. But like, I'm so stubborn that like for the first time in my life, being stubborn actually paid off.
Right. Yeah. I love that. And it like gave you all this life experience that I feel like you can now draw on as a designer, which is like one of the most untalked about parts of being an artist is like you have to source inspiration from like real life. Like you can learn how to design like, from a textbook, like the design rules. But if you don't have like experience to fuel your voice, like it's not as deep and good as it could be. So that's interesting too. Let's talk about the show a little bit. So you have the show on HGTV called Breakin, and I have so many questions because I watched the first episode. I'm already obsessed, but can you give us a peek into like the show, what it's about? Maybe some spoilers for listeners that haven't tuned in yet.
And like you said, like it really, the paving the way to like have life experience behind it is actually really like the biggest catalyst behind this, because I don't think I ever would have like sadly had self-confidence to own exactly what it was, the message that we're trying to get across in this show, unless I'd had all that life experience and been able to trust my like gut in knowing that these decisions are the right decisions.
Right.
And like the premise of the show it is not meant to diss anybody or I think I read somewhere that was like, that's so mean to say that everything else is bland. I'm like, no, gosh, no, that's not what I'm saying. And
that's not it. Yeah.
No. The whole point is for the client and, the families on the show to, and my premise in my design philosophy is for you to tap into like you, like what makes you tick, what turns you on, what in your life is an experience that you want to draw from when you're in your space. So like pulling anything from, like, I want you to come in and your space should be a sensory experience. You want to see it, feel it, smell it, love it. Like, want you to feel your space throughout your body and to have it trigger positive memories and positive feelings for you. And if that comes in a space that's all white, yes. If that comes in a space that's all black, awesome. If that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so individual, but also taking in, like, I'm not going to do something crazy where I don't think that it's a resale worthy. It's more like creating beautiful spaces that are taking into consideration your loves, your feels, colors, textures, anything that taps into you as a person that can turn on you in a sensory way.
I like that. It's like, it's more about, instead of just taking what we're given, like taking a trend or the builder grade stuff we're given, like, how do you break out of that to get, like, to you? So it's more about, like, taking risk than it is saying, like, boring, this is boring and we don't like it. It's like, this is not me, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like, exactly, how do I make my space me? And how do I, like, as same way that I've searched for myself to be able to own myself, like, how do you own yourself and, like, really tap into that and be proud of yourself and proud of the life that you've lived and proud of the money you've earned to put into this space. And highlight those things. Those are, like, your unique characteristics and the things that make you happy, and that's different than what makes anybody else happy. So how do I make that shine for you and your space?
I love that so much. So you're really not afraid to go all out and break the design mold when it comes to your design style. You're doing things that are, like, bold and interesting. Can we just dive into, like, what inspires your style in terms of, like, elements you're drawn to that are more, like, colorful and custom, and kind of how, like, your voice gets translated into a client space? I feel like that's such an interesting balance of, like, what is them and then, like, your voice as a designer coming through. How do you, like, navigate that?
For sure, because that's a very valid question. Because obviously, if you're designing a space, like, you're involved in that. I really try to get to know the clients on a deeper level. So I'm not interjecting too much of me in there. Obviously it's coming from my imagination and my brain, but I want to, like, really know them. Like, I want to know all about you, your business, your clothes, what do you wear, what do you eat, how do you live, how do you smell, like, how do you, like, go throughout your day, all those kind of things. And I try to, like, put myself in their place, and I sit in their space for long periods of time. So I utilize the architecture of the existing space as well. And, of course, like, my voice will shine through just because it's, like, my interpretation, but I don't know how it's so family specific to what is tapped into inside of me. And I really don't even know where it comes from. And sometimes I just wake up in the middle of the night and it comes from there, and it's just like a feeling that you get. And that's actually some of my best ideas come from, like, a dream, and I wake up and I write it down and then I go back to sleep.
It's amazing.
Or I don't go back to sleep and I just stay up and write down more ideas.
Right, and write down more and more. Yeah.
But it's really, like, client specific. Everybody is so different, and I'm just getting to know everybody's unique style and what they love when it comes to art. And you can tell so much about somebody's style, maybe what they might gravitate towards when it comes to just their wardrobe, how they live, what they eat, their, like, daily activities, the art that they love. And I ask clients, like, I have heavy art suggestions. I think art is so specific and so important to a space. So I'll give you suggestions and categories, and I try to see the path that you take when you select which one makes you feel great. And same when I, like, show inspiration photos, like where do you fall on the spectrum, or where in this color spectrum do you fall? All of those sort of things to kind of draw from what individually makes me call to that space.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I feel like some people think of interior design as, like, you're creating a space, but really so much of it is, like, pulling someone's style out of them that they can't even see, like really digging in and being like, what is you and how can I express that like in your space? And I know you know this, but like one of the biggest challenges as a designer is communicating that design plan and that vision to the clients and really helping them like see what you're trying to do, which can be so challenging. And I only can imagine it gets even more challenging when you're trying to go bold and do things that are maybe on the riskier side or just kind of really out there. How do you help like your clients take design risks and maybe get excited for like unconventional elements in the space versus feeling like intimidated and unsure? Is it like really strong visuals that they're just like, oh yeah, that looks good? Or is it like more a conversation? Like, how do you help them go bold?
Sure. And really strong visuals are
Mm.
the key because too, like, as an artist, like I can tell you and I can strongly suggest things for people, but it's so hard. If you just explain something, everybody can see that differently.
Mm-hmm.
So really strong visuals, I think, are really important when that's available. And again, just like walking people through their space. Like I don't want anybody to do something that they're not comfortable with. Like that,
Right.
that's not my MO at all. Like I really want you to be comfortable with it, but I need to know that like and the strong visuals really help with that. Again, because it's suggesting things outside of the box. But that's it. So much of that comes with like, believe in yourself and believe in you as a person that has artistic capabilities. Because I hear
Yes.
so often that people are like, I don't have a creative bone in my body. And I'm
Yes.
like, yes, you do.
Right.
We just like weren't all taught to express them in the same way or at all. Some people were kind of told to suppress them. So, or we're never given that opportunity or just like I was saying before, even a person that, I've always loved art, but like I did not, it's still terrifying for
Yeah.
any person, like
Yeah, it's super vulnerable and
so vulnerable. So
yeah.
like helping people realize that like that is all there in within them and their own unique gift that they all, I don't care how like straightforward and type A and like, you've still got it. Like it's there.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I know it and there's something that makes you happy and excited and I want to find that and I want to give it to you and I want you to live in that space that makes you like feel turned on by your environment.
I love that. So like the premise of this show is about like empowering the everyday girl to take charge of creating her spaces. And so I think that's like such a cool perspective of the process. Like you have it in you and let's just figure out how to like tap into that. That's so good.
Totally. Like everybody has it,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
it's like there's no wrong answer.
Right.
Like that's like my favorite part about design. Like it's so subjective. Like of course not everybody's gonna like the suggestion that I have, but like
Oh
is
yeah.
the person that I'm gearing towards, maybe not every single person on earth is going to like it, but is there going to be a group of people that are into it? Yes. Is the person I'm
Mhm.
doing it for going to like it? Yes.
Yes.
And that's what matters. And you can fill those in with, art and if you're, worried about a resell, these are still beautiful spaces that I don't think, kind of take you out of that resell. And a lot of this is forever
Right.
home too, but there's so many ways to incorporate your own personal piece in there that don't have to be so permanent.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Like if publishing my work in my spaces on the internet has taught me one thing, it's that no matter what you do, like people will hate it, people will love it. So you really need to just do like what is for you. And
Totally.
that's the only way to go.
Like with anything in life, like just
Right.
you do you. you know?
Yeah, for real. So for the everyday girl who's like decorating her space, looking for something unique, and she's maybe like afraid to take those risks or is feeling intimidated by like bold color, but maybe wants to try it. Do you have any advice for how you can like push yourself to take those risks and maybe incorporate like some unconventional elements that you want to try, but you're like nervous?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of impermanent things that you can do in spaces. And one of
Mm.
my favorite sayings is like, you can always paint over paint. So like, paint is paint. And that is like my favorite way to get started into the world of like, I'm unsure, but I want to try something new, because you can paint on a wall, and if you hate it, go back. That is an easy way. And like removable wallpaper, like I'm not going to install that for you because I can't. That's my own personal problem. But so most people can. I'm just like particularly not a candidate for that because I panic.
It takes attention to detail and lining stuff up and measuring. I do it, but it's like a free bird process. It's definitely not like how you're supposed to do it with measuring. And
I think I need to give it another shot. The last time I tried, my husband and I did it together, which we should never do that again. It was the biggest fight of our lives. And I was like 9 months pregnant, like walking down the street like, like so bad. So that is like not a team sport for me. That is
definitely a solo endeavor. I feel ya.
But removable wallpaper, paint, or accessories. Try there is cheap art. You can create cheap art so easily. And I think people like don't realize that. I've been thinking about doing a little like course on how to make cheap art and to make yourself feel comfortable in a space, because there's so many easy ways to do things that when I explain away some of my art, they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, that's it. My 3-year-old's like construction paper and one color paint and one shape, like it's like, and it's just the way you arrange that or put that in a space can make it so unique and so different. And it like literally takes 10 minutes. So those kind of ways, like start small. You don't have to go big and bold and redo your whole space to own it. But like the next time you're out looking for something for your space, instead of thinking like, okay, what are the trends? What's everywhere? What is the person doing? What's that? Like, take note of where you go. Like where are you? Like what is making your heart sing, and what is calling you? And maybe it's not in the main aisle, and maybe it's not but like sit down and think about that. Think about the spaces you love outdoors, and like how do you want to incorporate that, or anything that you love that makes you happy in your outside life, and how do you interpret that inside of your space in a way like use those kind of feelings to tap into your own personal style and think through if you're liking something because it's, a trend or out there everywhere, or are you liking this because it like really speaks to you?
Yeah. I love that. Like focus on the small things and a little bit at a time, and you kind of build your style and slowly get like confident. I think that's where like the TV shows trick us, is like we get this amazing gratification of seeing like a house go from like meh to like amazing in like 20 minutes. And then we think like our process needs to look like that. But like you're cramming weeks and months of work into that episode. So I'm interested in like the parts we don't see. Like are there any challenges or elements of the process that just like don't make the episode, that kind of speak to that like little things at a time and the big process that it is?
For sure. With these shows, you are lucky because you get to do the whole space in like a big, and that's like you said, it's not really reality all the time that people can go in and do an entire space and like top to bottom furniture, all the things. I mean, I'm an interior designer and my space will never be done,
Right.
I just like constantly am evolving it. And I, it comes and goes as I can afford it as well, So you are seeing this entire space get hauled, and you actually do see on the show like the thought process and the issues come up, and budget is always a serious concern because there's in any renovation, it is not like black and white. Like you cannot just say like we're going to do this and that's what's going to happen, because like
good one. Yeah,
never
you make the plan
happened.
never goes to plan.
Totally. And I have to like I have to remember to like preface that for clients. I'm like, just so you know, like nothing is ever on time. Like that. Whatever we say today, it could change like any day, because you never know. Like you start taking down a wall, what's behind there?
Right.
General ideas, but like you don't always know, and like, or this item can't come in and ship in time, or this is not going this way, or there's the possibilities of things that can go wrong are endless, and they always do. So just also know that, like, and don't ever get discouraged when something pops up. That is like the nature of the business. And I think in the beginning when I first started, that was really hard for me to understand too. Like I always took those as personal failures. And it's not like there's no personal failure in a house that came that way. It's just learning how to roll with the punches and move and be malleable and be okay when those changes come and not be hard on yourself. And if you make a mistake, that's okay. Like that's life. Life is like you don't learn unless you try and make a mistake. So you'll see I make mistakes on the show, make mistakes and everybody does, you know?
Oh yeah.
In life. And I don't ever want to hide that. And that's, you know, construction's about a lot of mistakes. But yes, you do get to see a beautiful home transform in 20 minutes, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears.
Yeah.
But happy tears and some stressful, but in the best way. Like it's such a cool process. It's so hard to explain and it is fun to see it in 20 minutes, but there's so much that goes into it. Oh yeah.
I love that. And I love that, like, the thought that came to my mind when you're talking about, like, pivoting is, like, the creative process is about flow. So to think you can, like, create a structure that's gonna, like, you're gonna be able to stick to is, like, so silly and against the nature of, like, what creativity is. So I feel like once you embrace that, like, things are gonna change. We're just gonna flow and, like, let it happen and let it evolve. That's when you're, like, yeah, give yourself more grace. And I feel like things turn out better than you planned sometimes. Like you couldn't have even foreseen when things go wrong and you have to pivot and get creative. It's like, whoa, this is actually better than I originally thought it was going to be.
Happy accidents are the best.
Yes.
A beautiful oops. Happy little accidents.
Yeah, I love that. So obviously, like the pandemic has redefined the way we think about our homes. I know for me, that looked like an influx of like e-design clients who were like spending more time in their spaces and realizing like, hey, this home does not serve me. Like it is not set up to feel like me. So I'm interested to hear like maybe some of the ways that you've seen this, like the design space shifting, or maybe just like changes in what people are wanting out of their spaces. Like what has this process in the pandemic looked like for you in client work and kind of looking at the shift, I guess?
Sure. You know, like everybody, we were all home kind of staring at our space and thinking about all the ways that we want to redo them and how we were living in it. And for the first time, you really, really had the experience of living in your space and like kind of critiquing every moment and move that you and your whole family makes within that space. So like, and that's a great thing because you really get to feel how you use your space and how you live in it and how you want to have that feel. Like, how would you prefer to have that feel? And it makes it a little easier, I think, now for people to articulate how they want to live because it's not like I know this wants to change, but like I don't know how or why to make this easier. But when you've been living in it for so like not leaving it and quarantined in it, you now know how to articulate like this precisely is not working for me. Like I need this home office to look like this. I need this door to shut here. Or, you know, we're spending more time in this living room, or I need a separate room to like for family activities. Like the ways that we're using our space because we are using them changed a bit. And I think that's really kind of beautiful. You know, that's what our homes were intended for, to use them and to love them. And it makes me feel like the clients that I've had, you know, have such a bit greater respect for their, not like you didn't have respect for your home before, but it's like like this ownership and like wanting to make it yours and wanting to know how to like specifically make it work for your unique needs, especially when it comes to offices, kitchens, you know, playroom areas, the areas that are utilized the most. So I think the best, like what I've started noticing is that people have this desire to be in their space more, to be more inspired by it, and to have it function better for the way that they're actually using it, and to be able to articulate those needs a little easier because they're used to being in that space. So I think that has kind of like helped us somewhat, you know, like, did it help you at all? Because you were like, okay, now I'm it's people, it's easier for me to understand your needs because you're able to give me a lot more information now.
Yeah,
You
right,
know?
like, I'm not guessing and trying to speculate what you're gonna do. I know, like, you're like, "I hate this," and you know that, and I don't have to, like, dig it out of you. That's so, so true.
Totally. Like in like
Yeah.
specific instances, like I actually
Uh-huh.
need this thing to go right here and this to go right here and that's not
Right.
working because of this and like that's great. That's awesome feedback. Like I love it when
Mhm.
people know exactly what they need, how they use their space and how they want it to perform for them.
Right. Takes the guesswork out for sure.
For sure. For
I love
sure.
that. Well, as we wrap up, is there anything we missed? Like, is there anything exciting happening that we need to know about
God, I
coming
mean,
up besides just watching the show, which everyone needs to go do? I'll link it in the show notes.
yes, please do. So I guess I that's it. I'm trying right now. There's no guaranteed second season.
Mhm.
So my hope is just to get as many eyeballs on it as I can and to hopefully get a second season. But you know what? If I don't, that is okay too, because the whole experience has been so incredible and something bigger than my dreams could have ever imagined. And
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful and happy to have had this opportunity and to just to keep on moving forward in life and
Mm.
learning more every day and how to, own and my own uniqueness and to help others and hopefully empower others to feel theirs and own theirs too. And, life doesn't have to be this perfect, beautiful packaged path to get to where you're
Uh-huh.
going. It's all about the wavy journey sometimes. And I'm just really grateful
Yeah.
to be here and to have had the opportunity to speak with you and all these amazing things that have arisen from this. This is more than I could have dreamed. So
Yeah.
that's it for now. Maybe
Mhm.
we'll see another season, maybe we won't, but I'll keep designing and keep on doing me, you know?
I love that, but I'm definitely gonna everyone go watch the show. Listen, we need as many eyeballs as possible because I selfishly would like a second season. So if everyone
Me
could go
too.
do that, that would be amazing. I want to watch it. So but seriously, it is
Yay,
so
thank
good,
you.
and I feel like it's exactly the kind of show we need right now. Is like it doesn't feel like it's like, okay, let's take a house and flip it and make it perfect. It's like really diving into the process and showing the fun side and the hard side, and so I really enjoyed that like authenticity of the
Oh,
show. So, yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Well, where can everyone connect with you online? Is like Instagram the best place to follow you or
Yeah,
and
Instagram for
TikTok?
sure. Tried. I made a TikTok and I still don't know how to post it. Oh God, I love like watching the videos, but God, I've got to figure out how to. I feel so old when I say these things. I'll figure it out.
You will. You will.
I will.
You'll
I
be
can
a
do
pro in
this.
no time.
Totally. Like all the other steps in life, I just need to get the courage to do it. So Instagram for now, that too. I have two accounts because I was confused when I made them. So
Mhm.
one is my very personal journey with me and my family and my life and more of like the behind the scenes, like raw details of life. And I do a challenge called 100 Days for Positive Change. And it's really like just a group that we do a few times a year of 100 days of movement where we encourage each other to move and to own through movement to gain courage to take on the rest of your life. And that's a very helpful tool. So you'll see a lot of that on my personal page, which is MW Fox Stasik. And my design page is Mary Welch Fox Design.
I love that. Well,
Oh, and
everyone
I
go
just started
follow
a
both.
blog. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what's your blog?
And that's marywelchfox.com.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
So Instagram and the blog, but mostly Instagram is where you'll see me because that's the only app I've mastered so far.
Yeah, killing it. It's all you need. Well, everyone go
Totally.
follow Mary Welch and be sure to DM her and bother her and tell her that you loved this episode because
Please,
that's
it's not
always fun to
bothering.
get
Yeah.
feedback. Yeah. Amazing.
Oh,
Well, thank you so much again for your time. This was such a good conversation. I know it's going to inspire so many listeners to kind of feel renewed in taking on their spaces and kind of getting creative. So, thanks for your time today.
Thank you, Cara. I really appreciate you having me, and I wish you the best. I can't wait to keep following your journey as well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so fun.
#obsessed. Okay, so for this segment, I want to give a name to something you might be seeing trending on social media. If you're pinning, if you're on Instagram or even TikTok, there's a style that you probably have seen emerging a lot and you might not know quite what it's called. And when I tell you the name, this way you can Google it and you can see if it's for you. When you're pinning, you can type it in. It's called organic modern. So this has been around for a while, but it's kind of coming into the limelight. So it's kind of what Studio McGee, their style is, but it's a little more nuanced than just like straight Studio McGee, the Target collection kind of style. But there is a lot of like earthy elements like plasters and neutrals and lots of texture. So like that caning and wood tones that everyone's loving. The foliage is like the olive trees, very natural, organic looking, not too polished. There's kind of like an element of earthiness to it. And this is interesting because I know you've seen this style all over. And if you didn't already know that this is kind of the name, the design term for the style, now when you go to Pinterest, you can type it in. And if you're loving it, now you'll be able to find all kinds of inspo, kind of the new trending style. I would say it's replaced farmhouse as far as what everyone's looking for. So yeah, organic modern, go search it up. Time to talk trends. This week, I am obsessed with a tool that I made for wallpaper. I had this genius idea because every time I put on peel and stick wallpaper on the walls, I end up scratching the paper or gashing it, or some of the like scrapers leave weird marks, even the plastic ones. So I needed to find something that was a lot gentler on this vinyl peel and stick wallpaper. So what I did is I got a paint shield, which kind of looks like a scraper. It's got like a long flat metal edge. I added some Velcro, just the rough side of the Velcro, to either end of the scraper, either edge. And then I wrapped a piece of felt from one side to the other to kind of wrap the end of the metal in felt. So now it is this super smooth tool that you can use to apply wallpaper. It helps you get all the bubbles out, but it doesn't scratch or stretch your paper. That's another really big issue with the plastic scrapers. They can stretch the paper and then it can be hard to match up your pattern and things can be out of whack. This was literally, I want to say under $5. The little scraper thing is only like $3 and felt super cheap too, and Velcro. But it is a game changer, like a game changer. If you've struggled putting up peel and stick, this tool might be something you need. I actually show the visual step-by-step if you're more of a visual person over on my Instagram in the new post I just did all about my powder bathroom makeover. I installed some peel and stick wallpaper and used this tool, and I show you how to make it in the reel. So if you're interested and excited about DIYing not only your space with wallpaper, but now we're DIYing our own tools, hop over to Instagram at Never Skip Brunch and check it out. If you're not already, you need to get it together and follow me on Instagram. That's where the party happens every day. It's where you can see me do all of my projects and DM me with your questions and your spaces and all of that fun stuff. So hop over to Instagram, type in Never Skip Brunch, and follow me so we can be friends there and talk more than just once a week.
I'm on my way back home.
Thanks for listening. If this is your first time listening in, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay in the loop with the newest episodes. If you're a subscriber and you like the show, be sure to rate, review, or screenshot and share your favorite episode on social.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.